What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to episode number 56 today of the My Player Career Mode. As we're kicking it off, we're going to show you the Champions League groups for the upcoming season, of course. Real Madrid in their defense of the Champions League. Have that group on your screen. Dortmund, PSV and FC Basel to work with. The other groups look like this then. In Group B, you can pause it on it if you want to check it out in more detail, guys, of course, because I'm going to go through it a little bit quickly. So if you want to check it out, just pause it on whichever one you want to check out in more detail, and you guys can look for yourselves to see what kind of groups has what teams in. This year's Champions League, it's going to be a tough one. There's some good teams in there. There's some teams that might cause a little bit of danger. And in specific terms, there's teams in there that are probably better than this Real Madrid lineup at the moment. So it is going to be quite tough for Ben and Madrid to have to kind of, I guess, try their hardest to defend their, Champions League trophy. But it's going to be a good test alongside the fact that Ben has, of course, taken number 10 now. A lot of you guys in yesterday's video, or the last video, I put up the poll. There was a few issues with it in that first half an hour of the video going live, but I managed to get it sorted for you guys. And a lot of you guys, I think it was around about 70% of people wanted number 10. So for Ben to take that shirt number, he is really going to have to step up here at Real Madrid and prove why he should be allowed to have that number. So he's got to carry this Madrid side to Champions League glory, to Copa de España glory, and to La Liga glory as well, to showcase why he is their number 10. Very much like Messi is for Barcelona. So as we're going into game one here, guys, it is a good start for Madrid, but same for Barcelona. Both teams winning all of their opening games. This season should be quite a close season in La Liga as well. Barcelona look like they've made a few new additions to their squad, and their squad looks a little bit better than it did last year. So again, we might be in for a tough kind of season here of La Liga football. It's going to be close and competitive, and that's what I want to see. I want to see Real Madrid have some competition this year in the way of the league and in the way of the Champions League. And 18 minutes into game one, great work from Ben, nearly set up the first goal. It did fall for Casemiro in the box, but his volley was wide of the post. Not used to seeing Casemiro in those sort of positions, and that's probably why, because when he gets in them, he's not the most clinical of players, is he? But that's why I suppose he is a holding midfielder. He has scored a couple of bangers, though, in terms of what he scored in his career, so he can hit the ball. It's just in that one he got it all wrong. As we move into the 48th minute, though, it is Real Madrid again with the next highlight. Salvio backwards to Ben. Ben on the ball here as the second half began, found a way out to wide to Ronaldo. Ronaldo plays it back into him. And it just so happens that, like Lionel Messi's number 10, instead it's BW number 10, and it's him with the opening goal of this game. On a great little 1-2 of Ronaldo, and he picks his spot expertly in the bottom corner, and he finds it actually, to his credit, that wasn't as easy as it made it look. Like, you know, he's got to get it completely spot on. Any more to the side, it's going to hit the post and maybe come out. So he had to get it right in the corner, and he did. And after that, guys, it was just about the end of the game. It was a 90 minutes played, and it was Real Madrid with the 3 points. That man on your screen, BW10, yet again, getting another 3 points for Real Madrid. He steps up when you need him to, and he scores the only goal of that game there. So again, the reason I'm calling him BW10 is because one of you guys actually said it in the comments of like the last video, and it actually kind of made me think that's not too bad actually. So I might start calling him BW10 instead of Ben Wood, but BW10, it sounds a little bit cooler, I guess you can say. Now, as we move into the next bit, guys, Rafael Varane is back from injury, so it does mean that this Madrid side will have a solid defense once again. I am going to be showing you a full squad report here because a few of you guys wanted to see some of their overalls of the players that are currently still at the club. So like I said in the last episode, I would show you a full one. So here it is for you all to look at. Of course, Ben is the highest rated player here currently. Casemiro 89 rated. He's very, very good. Salvio, Aubameyang, and Ronaldo as a front three. Ronaldo now at 84 rated. Very slow in terms of physicals. Same with Karim Benzema, 83 now. We've got Aguero down at 86. We have got a stacked midfield, though, in terms of the players. Isco, Kovacic, and Ceballos all can't get in the side, and they are 86, 88, and 89, I think it was. So, yeah, it's crazy to see that. They've even got Varane there. You can see 91 rated, one of the world's best defenders. Unfortunately, was out injured. So he's back now, should be in for contention with getting selected for the first team. And as you're moving down the list, there's a few other players. I actually got it wrong, guys. It's not Toni Kroos who's coming towards the end of his I guess, age. I actually said the wrong player. I meant to say Luka Modric, of course, who is still at the club. There is James Rodriguez as well, back, and Toni Kroos as well, 88 and 89 respectively, and they can't even get in the side. Shaqiri there, and as you can see there, Modric 80 rated at 35, I think it was. So, yeah, my bad for that. I said Kroos in the last episode. I meant Modric. That's the one I meant to say. So, yeah, there's still a lot of good players, though, at this Madrid side, and quite a lot of them are midfielders. They just can't get in the team, because right now, Ben, Casemiro, and Llorente seems to be the three that Zidane likes to choose from. As we move into some Champions League gameplay now, guys, it's going to be PSV up against Real Madrid, of course. As I mentioned, Madrid trying their hardest to defend this Champions League trophy in the group that you saw earlier on in the start of the episode. They have been drawn with PSV, Dortmund, and who is the other one? And it's going to escape me now, and it's going to annoy me. There it is. PSV, Dortmund, and FC Basel. So there it was. So the group itself, I would say, it's not terrible. It's a group in which Real Madrid, I would say, should be able to get out of, even if it isn't just second place. But it should be a kind of, I wouldn't say comfortable, but they should at least be beating Basel and PSV, in my opinion. Maybe a draw with Dortmund wouldn't be such a bad thing, but I would like to think as well they could beat them. But you can see the PSV side, it's not terrible. It is a decent side, and as we go into game, it's an even better one from Real Madrid. They have their current front three out there. Bale, Aubameyang, and the man on the left, Marcus Rashford, as the front three, arguably the strongest possible. 4 minutes into this one, Ben with a great turn on the edge of the area. Thought he just about squeezed it into the bottom corner there with that curling effort, but sadly, he couldn't quite find it. There is reminiscence there. I mean, if you look at Ben and you look at Lionel Messi, you look at the both of them, left-footed. They both like to do these little tricks on the edge of the area. They both can find the bottom corners when they need to. There's really not much in it between the two of these guys at the moment. 14 minutes in, Ben setting up Marcus Rashford, who does ever so well here with the initial strike. It's a good save from the goalkeeper, and there is Aubameyang to mop up the rebound and put it into the empty net. So Ben creating the opportunity, will not get credit with the assist though, because the shot was saved originally and it came back to Aubameyang, who put it in off of the goalkeeper. But for Real Madrid, they will not care. It gives them the opener in this game, it gives them the lead, and it means that now they move forward into the 15th minute in the lead in the game. So what this, of course, now means for Ben is he can start to do these little tricks on the edge of the area. He can start to take these shots from ridiculous kind of angles, I guess you could call it. Because when they're 1-0 up, you know, they've got the lead. He doesn't have to really do anything other than keep that lead. And with Varane and with Sanchez at the back, with the strongest back four that Real Madrid have possible, I would like to think that the best defensive record, probably in world football last year, could also hold out this year as well. So, I mean, it is a probable cause, that one. As we move into the 21st minute, Ben on the ball again. It's a great run from him. He finds Gareth Bale on the right-hand side. He chooses to take it first time. Not quite sure why. He had a little bit of space there. He probably should have taken a touch. Maybe it would have been a better effort from him if he had have done. As we move into the PSV chance now, Lozano with a cross towards the back post. And he was actually won by the number 7 there up against Jose Gaya. And luckily for Real Madrid, his header wasn't on target. But that is a little bit of the sign that PSV can catch us on the break if we're not careful here. So, yeah, definitely to watch out for that one. But 71 minutes in, he gets the ball here, does the BW10. And then when he does this, it's really nothing to stop him from shooting. And that is why the score now is 2-0. Major question marks over the midfielder of PSV. Because when he gets done by Ben, you can see, watch this. Ben does him here. What's he doing? Why is he stood still? You can see, like, I'm lost for words. I have no idea what on earth that midfielder's doing. He should have continued to try and chase Ben down. He doesn't do it. Maybe he thinks he's going to go back that way, so that's why he holds his ground, potentially. Or maybe he thinks there's another man alongside him who's going to close Ben down. But he just doesn't do it. And it allows Ben way too much time to pick his spot. And you can see the captain is not very happy with his midfielder there for letting Ben just waltz on through to be able to strike it from the distance. So, yeah, weird defending from the midfielder. And that now makes the score 2-0 as Toni Kroos makes his way onto the field of play for Casemiro. So good change there. A little bit of experience, I guess, to close the game out. But PSV having one last opportunity in the 90th minute now. Bergwijn through on goal. He couldn't beat the goalkeeper, though. It's a very tame, very poor shot in the end. I would say he had to score it there. You know, he's through, maybe not score, but at least do better with that one. It's a weak shot, and it was a simple save for the keeper to make. And that then ended off the game, and it was Real Madrid coming away with the first victory of the group stage here now. 3 points on the board, 2-0 win. Ben on the score sheet, along with Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang. You can see him there, giving a few players a handshake and waddling off the pitch, I guess you could call it, and very happy with himself indeed. So, of course, that now means that Real Madrid have kick-started their defence off with a victory, which is always the best way to get get the campaign underway. Now, The problem I think Real Madrid are going to face this year is the fact that although they have a really stacked midfield, you're seeing it, they've got so many players who are really good and can't get in the side at the moment. I feel that they probably should have let some of them go, maybe 2 or 3 of them, maybe signed another right back, and maybe another winger, and maybe another centre back. Because, like, in terms of those positions right now, Madrid look kind of weak. They have Salvio at the right mid spot. They've got Bale at the right wing spot. But if one of those two get injured, like Gareth Bale did last year, then Salvio is the only one, or Bale is the only one who can come into the side. So I feel like they needed another winger, and they potentially needed another fullback as well, with even another centre-back. And that would have really strengthened this Madrid team to the point where I would feel confident in saying that they can get the treble done this year. Now, because I've looked at the side, I've seen the players they've got, I've looked at it in depth and stuff. You can see they've got Vendel coming at left back, but then they had to start with a 74 rated right back. I looked at it and I thought, Barcelona have got a strong squad this year. I mean, you know, the Champions League is going to have 4 or 5 strong squads this year. And in terms of the league, again, you know, Barcelona are in there. So it's most likely going to be Barca challenging for the league with probably a few other teams as well. I mean, we did get run close by Athletic Bilbao last year. And there's a few other teams like, Madrid, Atletico Madrid and stuff. So there is every chance that those will still be in there. But ultimately, I feel like Barcelona is going to be the biggest threat this year for Madrid, especially in the Copa de España as well. So for that reason alone, I feel like they haven't strengthened enough with the amount of money they've got and the amount of, I guess, players they've got in the club for them to have this team and have to call Ronaldo still in at 84 rated. You know, he's going to decrease quite quickly now. I don't feel that they've strengthened quite the way that I would have done had I been manager. But regardless, I'm not. You know, it is Zidane, and he gets to make his choices. And his choices for the team did involve Cristiano Ronaldo at that left wing spot today against, I think it was Valladolid, but I could be wrong. I probably butchered that, which if I have, I apologise. And it did actually matter because we went 1-0 down. Real Madrid 0. The away side won. Again, I'm not going to try and pronounce it because I'll probably get it wrong and you guys are going to be laughing at me in the comments. But ultimately, something that Madrid haven't seen a lot of since Ben joined them is them going 1-0 down. And that's exactly what's happened here. It was a great cross towards the back post. It was a teasing, tense cross here. And for some reason, we just couldn't deal with it. It's that man at the right back spot who I said may have had to have been upgraded. And it wasn't done. And he loses out the header. And it's our opponent's 1-0 in front now. So for him and for his team, he gets them in the lead. Again, I would try and pronounce it, but I'm probably going to get it wrong, and I actually don't know fully what the name is, so I apologise for that. But Real Madrid, work to do, because they are now 1-0 down in the game. As we move into the second half, Ben on the ball here, quite a distance away from goal. You can see him trying to work his way inside. He eventually does get inside. Nice ball roll, setting himself up for the left-footed strike. And you can see he was ever so close to finding the top corner and making the score 1-1. Unbelievably, it hit the post and went out the other way, off the outside of the post and out for a goal kick. That was absolutely gutting there because that was an unbelievable strike from Ben and it warranted going in. A great turn though from him again. You can see here as he gets inside, tries to shoot. It falls to Casemiro, the man who missed the opportunity in the first game for us. This time makes no mistake when we need him to do it. And that is why I didn't really get too bothered when he missed the first opportunity in the first game, because he scored this one here. And it's a bit like come off the hour, come off the man, you know, because Casemiro there, he's got a lot of work to do. It's not an easy strike to pull off. It's first time on the half volley, on the turn, and he just about manages to get it correct. So it falls into the bottom corner and not wide of the post. It's his first goal of the season, of the Liga season anyways. And boy, how important it could be, because at the moment, Barca have won every single game they've played. So Real Madrid, for momentum, need to try and keep up with them. You can see 63 minutes into the game, though. Ben on the ball, halfway line here. Again with that ball roll, tries to beat his man. He does it eventually as he slides in there, giving too much time away to Ben. Great run, finds its way to Karim Benzema. And there he was to give Madrid the lead. They've completely turned the game on its head 65 minutes in. It's Madrid 2. The opponents won, and as I said, for momentum, this was important because Barcelona winning every single game. We talk about the El Clasicos as being the title deciders. You know, if anybody wins those two, the chances are they're going to win the league, and that may be the case this season. So Real Madrid need to not lose here. They need to really make sure they're winning these types of games, and you can see as we're moving to the 90th minute, it's pretty much wrapped up. But Ben said, you know what? I was denied by the post earlier on. I ain't going to be denied here instead. And in the 90th minute, there was only one thing on his mind when the ball fell to him, and that was to try and find the back of the net. And you can see he did just that. It wasn't the greatest strike in the world. It had a lot of curl on it, but you can see the keeper doesn't really do the most convincing dive. You can watch it from this angle in a moment, guys. The goalkeeper with not a very convincing dive at all. I don't like this cinematic here that the Liga does when it kind of gives you it from all angles when it stops the play. It's just not as good. You don't get to see it from all the angles, you know. So I did show you it later on once the game comes to an end and you'll be able to check it out from different angles. You can see what I mean about the goalkeeper. But ultimately, Madrid turning the game on its head, and they do come away with the 3-1 victory. It was important that they did that. As I said, Barcelona winning their games. They need to keep up with the momentum-wise. It's good to be able to bounce back. But arguably, Madrid didn't concede that many goals last year. So to concede there was slightly disappointing. You know, I think they only conceded single-digit goals in the entirety of the league campaign last year, which is crazy to see. And the fact they conceded here against Valladolid, I've probably butchered it, I apologise. It wasn't great. It wasn't great either. So, yeah, defensively, I'm a little bit worried about Madrid this year and the fact that they didn't strengthen that area. So, I guess we'll find out if that is going to become their kryptonite later on in the series. But for now, another victory for Madrid. You'll be able to see the goal in a moment from Ben as I showed you it. And just check out what I meant about the goalkeeper. 2 goals in 5 minutes, turning the game on its head. Here is the final one of the game, though. Ben on the score sheet for this one. Originally, you looked at that and I was like, it's not completely in the corner, but you'll see from the next angle that comes up in a moment's time here from the back angle, there is a lot of curl on this one, so you do have to give credit to Ben for it, and it is quite in the corner. It's just the goalkeeper's dive isn't very convincing at all. So, again, decent for Real Madrid. They pretty much dominated that game, so they did kind of deserve to at least get the draw out of that one. It's even better they got the victory for it. So, Valencia as well with a draw against Granada there. And we'll see who is going to also be up there come the end of the season. Because as you know, right now, Barca, Madrid, you've got Atletico Madrid, you've got Athletic Bilbao who were up there last year. This one's going to be a more close season, I think. So moving into the last game of the episode, guys, Getafe away from home for Ben. And again, it's a very iffy squad. When I looked at the team that was out again, you know, we've got pretty much the strongest lineup, but the issue we're going to run into is squad depth, and I keep talking about that because it genuinely is a worry for me. Because again, you look at this now here, both Real Madrid and Barca are the only 2 teams in the division so far to have a 100% record. If they want to be competitive in this league, if they want to be competitive in the Champions League, and they want to be competitive in the Copa de España, have they got the squad depth to do it? Because you look at the team that I'm about to show you in a moment, and the fact that he really has prioritised this game in the league suggests that maybe we're going to have to rest some players for the Champions League game to come. Because look at the side in the moment when it pops up. It's a 4-2-3-1 from Getafe, which I'm nice to see. I don't like seeing 5 at the back, so I'm glad that it is a 4-2-3-1. But Navas starts. Gaia, Varane, Sanchez and Weiser, the best back 4 possible. Not the best midfield possible, but certainly the best front 3 possible. So really, I guess Zidane is prioritising the league at the moment and saying that, yes, the Champions League is of importance, but he feels or must feel that though he can play his team here, he's going to be able to play the same lineup in the Champions League, or at least something close to it, without really having to risk any players from injury or fitness reasons. That's what I'm thinking anyways. As you can see, Ben started off the game quite good, 4 minutes in, finding a shot, but he couldn't quite squeeze it into the bottom corner there. He was close to doing it, not quite the way he wanted though. And then as we move into the 22nd minute, a strong challenge comes on it. It's a strong but fair challenge, completely nothing wrong with that one. But then, for the first time ever, I looked at this and I was worried because we don't usually see this. Ben on the floor. Not only that, the referee had to stop the play. He's holding on to his, what looks like his knee originally there. And I looked at that and I was thinking, if that is an ACL, a cruciate ligament, we are in for a long, long wait. Because cruciate ligaments are normally a few months. In which case, if he's holding on to his knee, Ben might be out for a few months here. But then I looked at this angle and I could see him holding onto his shoulder. And I was like, okay, if it's a shoulder injury, it may only be 4 or 5 weeks, 6 weeks at most. So, unfortunately, he did have to go off. But we will have to wait and find out how long he's going to be out of action for. Because that could be detrimental to Real Madrid and England for their campaigns coming up. Because to lose a player of his quality, it could be so, so bad. And after that, after he went off, Getafe actually dominated most of the play here. You can see 2 chances one in the first half, this one in the second. Straight through, you can see great turn in the area, finds it back, and eventually it's a great effort off the inside of the post there. And luckily for Madrid, it didn't nestle in towards the back of the net. 74 minutes in, a corner for Madrid here in a game where they've been second best throughout. Bale whips it in, it's cleared away by Alvaro, but not quite perfectly enough as Isco goes close with his effort there, just wide of the post. The man that replaced Ben on the field of play. Imagine how good that would have been for him if he'd been able to get the winning goal there. I thought it took a deflection on the way through, but turns out it did not. It was literally just Isco's strike going wide. And for Real Madrid, it wasn't a great day at the office after Ben went off, and it wasn't something that they could sit back and say, you know, job done. 90 minutes on the clock. Kovacic looking for potentially one more opportunity. Gareth Bale here brings it down, but it's not quite good enough as the keeper pulls off a great save to stop Bale from finding the winner in the game. You can see it was his weaker foot. He looked for the top corner, but the keeper got his right hand up there pretty damn well to make the save. And for that now, it's overshadowed really by the injury to Ben. It doesn't really matter too much about the point because they still get a point at least. It's not a defeat or anything. They do, however, fall to second place and cannot keep up with the 100% win rate that Barcelona currently hold as well. So Barca are top of La Liga at the moment. And, even worse, Ben may be out for a few months if it is an ACL injury. If it's just a shoulder injury, it shouldn't be too long. But most importantly, we want Ben back. You can't lose a player of his quality and still do well. So, as you can see, we had enforced break there, and we'll have to wait until the next episode till they've done a few tests on Ben to see how long he's going to be injured for, because we don't actually know at the moment. So we'll see what the tests show up with. That's how the league looks for the final bit of the episode, guys. If you enjoyed today's episode, a like or greatly appreciated. As always, thank you for your continued support. I will see you all for another episode, and hopefully see you all when Ben is back playing football very, very soon. Catch you all then. Adios.